This episode is brought to you by
Leisure Comfort. At Leisure Comfort Heat and Air, we provide friendly heating and air conditioning repairs done right. We repair all major brands and give reliable options to get your system working properly. In the unfortunate event that your new equipment is necessary, we can make the installation seamless and easy. We install all major brands, and with free estimates and flexible financing options, upgrading your HVAC system has never been easier. Whether you're looking for HVAC system repair, seasonal maintenance, new equipment, or general construction needs, our trained technicians will get you on the best path to enjoying a comfortable home environment.
J&M Trailer Sales and Service. J&M Trailer Sales and Service has a huge selection of trailers, trailer repair, and price is so low, it's stupid. Also, if you don't want to commit to buying a trailer or a piece of equipment, they rent it out as well. Trailers, car haulers, skid steers, and excavators. J&M Trailer Sales, located at 2510 South 2nd Avenue, Paragould, Arkansas. Welcome back to the Big Circle, aka the Big Rectangle, with your host,
Derek Followell.
and I'm Ivy Heron Jr. Welcome back to the Big Circle. We're excited to have you.
As you notice, we still have this table because Chad has not sent the table.
Chad, 230 East Kings Highway, Paragould, Arkansas, 72450.
Y'all may need to say a prayer for Chad because, I mean, apparently his heart got stingy or something. Something happened.
Chad, let's all
Chad,
be
right
friends.
now,
We appreciate it.
reach out to the camera.
Hey, we're excited.
Yeah.
We're ready to get it.
Absolutely. So we're back into our.
You know, we tell everybody to come to the Big Circle, and hey, we're excited that you're coming to the Big Circle. But man, yeah, we just don't think we got room.
Yeah, we don't. We're going to though.
We're going to. We're
Yeah,
because
because we're gonna have some guests before too long.
Absolutely.
As soon as we can afford another mic.
broke.
Oh, that's so awesome. Hey, right before we're starting, Shell's like, hey, we're about to get started, and Ivy takes a drink of his coffee. You might can see it smoking. I don't know. Our cameras are pretty cheap.
Feels like
He's
it's
like,
smoking
and he
still.
says, I burnt my goozle.
Don't act like you don't say it.
So
Let's get serious.
This is the funny part. I say goozle, and Shell's like, y'all both say
goozle.
You've never said goozle, Shell?
I've never said goozle.
You just said it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's a first for everything.
What
I'm
do
gonna
you
get with
say? I
Austin.
burnt my.
Are you talking about your tongue?
Well, or maybe your
Just-
trachea, I guess.
or
The
a
maybe.
uvula, the
esophagus,
little
I don't
dangly
know.
thing in the back?
Uvula.
What's a uvula?
The goozle.
The goozle,
Yeah.
aka the goozle.
It's that little speed bag in the back of your throat.
try.
Oh, that's like redneck
That's
Batman
hot,
would
man.
say goozle.
Yeah.
Goozle.
Shoot 'em, Leroy.
We're gonna do a poll on our socials and see how many people say goozle. Because
I'm sure a lot more
Let's
than what
do
you
that.
think.
Yeah,
Let's
with
do that.
Sit up.
I think we got some
Set
goozlers
apart.
out there.
Paging. Never mind.
Yes, paging Team Goozle. People are Googling goozle right now.
I don't even know how you spell that. How do you spell that?
Goozle.
That's what I was thinking too.
Goozle.
Okay.
Is that what you was
I don't
thinking?
know.
It's probably
I'm scared
wrong
to
if
even
that's what
drink-
you
I'm
were
scared to-
thinking.
I'm scared to even drink the coffee because of my goozle.
It's burned too bad.
It's still burning, I feel like.
Oh, but you ain't got no creamer. That's why it's hot.
It's still terrible. You said after the third week I'd be over this, but no, it's still just as bad.
I think we need to talk about that.
About getting
I
the
think there's
creamer.
something in your mind.
About getting the cream.
No, not about getting the
Man,
creamer.
I deal with motor oil all day long, and then you come expecting me to drink it.
Oh man, but it's cheap.
Yeah,
Don't
it
cost you
is.
$35.
It's like $1 the other day at Shadrack's, and compared to the mochas and stuff you had
Yeah.
me get the other time was like,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
Yeah. Shadrack still hasn't sponsored us.
We're waiting for it.
It was $1 at Scooters.
It's probably because of our camera.
It was at
views that one
Scooters
day.
we got it for $1.
Oh, was it?
Scooters is where we got it. And because we'll switch coffee brands on a dime.
Whoever pays us.
Yeah. You want to pay for the coffee? We'll drink it. As long as it's legal.
Shelton says cease and desist.
Oh,
coming
we
soon.
got a scooter. Scoot on around.
I
Hey,
love that.
Scoot your paperwork over here and we'll stop talking about it. Until then, scoot on.
That is I love our catchphrases that we come up with. But when they're at the window and they tell you to scoot on around, that's phenomenal.
That's great.
It's
right?
phenomenal.
That's gotta stay.
It's
What
it's
do they
great.
Shadracks? That'll be $52. That was a joke. JK, but we will drink their coffee.
Absolutely.
We can't afford to if they don't
scared.
sponsor us.
Hey, well, I can't afford to just because I can't go through the drive-through anymore because my wheels rubbed too
Well,
bad.
you have gold rims. You can afford. You can buy Shadracks. You can buy the franchise.
They're just 18 karat. What a jerk.
But
Fake
anyway,
gold.
let's not get off on that. Okay, so we always start the first 3 minutes really
Squirreled out.
You're at 5 right now.
I'm at 5. Oh my gosh!
They're
back
really
to work.
asking, are you sure they're recovered?
They say, yeah. They'll say
There's got to be something else that's going on.
What's
behind
in the
scenes.
coffee?
Yeah.
They're like, man, if
Shelton will pay you $2,000 to get us the pre-camera footage of what's really happening. Hey, we'll take your $2,000 though. You can come check it out.
right now they're thinking if y'all had 1 minute left to live, y'all'd be joking. Why not laugh?
Absolutely.
So now, I mean, we're back into the heavy stuff real quick.
Yeah.
So, we ended our last episode with, talking about our fathers, kind of some stuff that was left, I don't know, maybe broken, undone, unfinished, and we kind of got into that. And you alluded to the fact that, your father struggled with kind of just enabling, I guess. Not from a bad place. I mean, obviously,
from a heart of love,
Yeah.
but just didn't know what else to do to fix it.
So talk a little bit about that enabling process.
Yeah, man. Hey.
What it did to you, your reflection now. I've heard you reflect on y'all's relationship a little bit. Talk a little bit about
Bro,
that.
just being young and just being a punk, man, just not knowing any better. I just thought that it was normal. When you got in trouble, shoot, I'd go to jail and I'd get bonded out. Man, my kid ever goes to jail, I'm leaving them there, and I'm telling the judge to give them the max sentence. I'm serious. I don't care what it's for. Like, hey, you're going to sit there and you're going to learn from this. He didn't know, though. He just thought, well, maybe if he gets out, that was a wake-up call.
Right.
Well, about after the 8th time, we kind of try to figure out that it's not a wake-up call. There's something else deeper in that. So that's what kind of I was hitting on at the end of that episode. Kids quit, or parents quit being your kid's best friend. You got to quit. Right. You got to quit. It's going to end up killing them. And I say that with love. When I'm saying, man, you got to be a parent for them. I'm not saying that my dad wasn't the greatest dad on the planet, because I will always say that. He was absolutely 100%
He tried his best.
Yeah.
Tried his best.
And what we say is with my best friend, you notice how I said that. He was my best friend.
Right.
So, great dad, but you got to quit enabling them. You got to let them learn their mistakes and let them learn them the hard way.
My mother told me, she said, son, you learn how to be a parent when your kids move out. Yeah. And I always thought, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, man, when I started raising, me and Sarah started raising Jonathan, I was like, man, I'm gonna right the wrongs, I'm gonna focus on education. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fix everything my parents did wrong. And then John moves out, and you reflect, and you look back and think, man, I see where I missed this and that and this and that and this and that. And I'm sure Jonathan's probably living his life now, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna do things different than my parents, and I'm gonna get it right.
Yeah.
And he's probably gonna fall in the same category Mom did and I did.
Yeah.
When it's over, you're gonna realize the mistakes that you made. And I think it's inevitable that
realizing that mistakes are inevitable.
We're human, man.
Yeah, sorry for my humanity. It's
we're trying to do our
say
best.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to do our best, and
and knowing that you're going to fall short on that is okay. I mean, giving it your all and then realizing, hey, I made mistakes. That's okay.
Right. So you talked about, all those times that you went to jail and got out, and, your dad would always think, well, this is the time you're going to straighten up, etc. Yeah. What straightened up Ivy Heron Jr.?
My dad dying. The harsh truth of it is I had, and, people kind of look at me sideways sometimes when I say this, I wouldn't be where I'm at now if that wouldn't have happened. And that's a hard truth, knowing that stuff had to take place in order for me to change. That's a hard truth. Would I love, man, I'd tell you, I'd give anything in the world for just 1 minute with them now to see now. but it's not possible. So we got to come to the understanding of that.
So two things. One, it's crazy. My answer is the exact same for my father. That's our stories are so similar. And, we're talking about this 11:59 thought process. And, man, I'd do anything for that 1 minute.
Yeah.
The one thing we have to understand is that minute is never going to be something in the past.
That's right. Yeah. That minute is not happening.
It's always going to be something that's now.
So accepting the hard truths.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah, that is hard truth.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't want anyone ever again to I don't want to lose anybody else in my life where after they're gone, I look back and think to myself, man, I wish I could fix that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's why I've developed such a good relationship with my mother now. It's simply because of the fact that I know that she never has to see that ever again. And, we all have an appointed day. So when that day, if it's mine, hers, whatever, knowing that I made a difference in that time, that means everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, same thing, me, man, my mom hung the moon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She means the world to me. It's just like, I don't know, I think you cling to that parent even more.
Yeah.
When you realize.
You have to, because that's all you got left.
My mom used to say that. I never understood it. My grandmother, because my grandfather had died, and my mother just, man, she thought my grandmother hung the moon, my grandmother Maxine, and she would always say with tears in her eyes, she's like, son, you hang on to them. It's all you got left.
That's right.
I didn't understand it. Like, it didn't make any sense to me from that young perspective.
Yeah, well,
now,
we think we're going to live forever when we're young.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sheer truth of the matter.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about, now valuing those minutes that you have. Some rules that I've made with myself, man, if I can avoid it at all, I never let a day go by that I don't talk to my mother.
That's right.
There's a few times that we'll go on a cruise or whatever, and I don't have phone service.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get phone service, the first person I call is my mother.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I just value that relationship.
Absolutely.
I talk to her often, and I remember me and Sarah's even had conversations before where she'd say, man, I wish me and my mother had a relationship like that. Value what you have. And that's difficult.
Yeah, it is. We cling, guys, and too, I want to say this too. If you're dealing with grief right now, just deal with it now. Learn how to cope with it. Because it's something that I held on to for a good 3 years, and I'm still working on it now. Learn how to grieve, whether that be, if you got to cry, cry. Hey, there ain't no shame in that. None.
No.
None. Just learn how to grieve, learn how to process, and realize that, hey, things are going to be okay. There's a brighter day ahead.
Yeah.
So
I think you're healthy. What you're doing now is grieving in a healthy way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I don't hear your grief now being, man, I want to rewind the clock and do it over, because it's unrealistic. I
used to lay in that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, hey, the only way I'm going to be able to get over this is rewind it. I knew that was an unfathomable thing, but yet I still laid in it. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
And I think because we don't see that person that we've seen in the past from you, I think part of that was putting that chapter behind you.
Yeah.
And just saying,
it is what it is.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I am where I am.
Yeah.
And I've got to move forward, being healthy.
Yeah.
Thinking in a healthy manner.
Yeah. And healthy don't just mean just not doing drugs or drinking alcohol. Man, there's so much more to being healthy, man. You could be sober for 20 years and still be an absolute wreck.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, spiritually. You got all these different effects. You just got to learn how to change every single day. How can I do better? And, I thought to myself the other day, it was really hard. I felt like there's days where you feel like you're just pretending.
Yeah.
Just pretending that you're just doing all these things, that you're bound to a certain thing, that you're really not doing them for the right purpose. You're doing it, whether it be for other people or realizing that's the right thing to do. And then you start to rewind a little bit and say, why am I doing these things? Well, because they're worth it.
Well, I mean,
you're worth it.
I think anybody that is honest with themselves, anytime we start something new, that we're walking into something
It's
new, you're
scary.
going to feel like a pretender.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time we went to the gym, bro, I didn't know
Yeah.
bench press from a
Yeah.
whatever.
And now here you are 50 pounds lighter
You know,
in a year,
40.
40.
I'm
Okay.
working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. But,
Yeah,
still,
but anyway, you know, it's just like now you look at it, and I felt like a pretender for a while.
Yeah.
Now when I go in the gym, I feel like, man, I belong in the gym.
this is my community. Yeah.
I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. So I think you have to fight through that thought process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other day, I want to give a shout out to this. Some few weeks ago, me and you were in the gym in the morning, and Azria
Yeah.
came to the gym. And the next thing you know, man,
You beat me to the punch because I was about to say the same thing. Ain't that awesome?
she walks on the treadmill beside us, man. She walked a full
Yeah.
mile. She busted it.
Yeah.
She got in there and you know, she did the workout, the weights, and you know, and you even modified our workout. You were like, hey, we're not going to go over in that other side because that can make her feel a bit more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We're going to stay over here on this side and kind of, and
Yeah.
you do not understand how happy you made me. This is the first time I'm telling you this, but you do not understand how happy you made me when you were willing to do something somewhat different.
Yeah.
To bring somebody in the circle.
Absolutely.
Man, the Ivy I knew 2 years ago would have been like, bro, that girl can work out on her own. I'm here to fix me.
Yeah.
I don't see
Selfish,
that.
yeah.
Man, that, bro. There was a little guy inside of me turning cartwheels
Yeah.
when you made that decision. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that is some super duper growth.
Yeah.
You know, and then I needed
that in my life, though, when I wasn't, you know, come to say worth it or this and that. And
Yeah.
I had people invest in me when I wasn't worth investing in.
Yeah.
And now we see a different picture. We see
Yeah.
a different Ivy. You, so many people. So I won't ever forget stuff like you just don't forget the people that invested in you and you didn't even believe in yourself.
That's right.
Now we get the opportunity to invest in other people. We get to believe in them.
Yeah.
Knowing
and that
they
wasn't,
can do it.
you know, it was you grabbing somebody's hand and saying, come on.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to
Appreciate
help
that.
you. Man, if I got that 1 minute left, I want my minute to be connected to somebody else's hand.
That's right.
You know, I'm going to help you get wherever you're going.
That's right.
You know, I don't have to be caught up in my community of you got to be just like me for me to help you grow as an individual, man. That fired me up.
Yeah.
You know, and now, you know, I want somebody to look at me and say, man, if that guy had a minute left, man, he'd connect to somebody else's hand and help them grow into the person that you called them to be.
Yeah, we're called to be difference makers.
Yeah.
Let's be a difference maker.
That's good stuff.
Putting our stuff to the side, man. People are so worth it.
Absolutely. And, you know, you talk about, let's dive into that, talking about kind of being an imposter, almost imposter syndrome, I guess, is what it would be called. Anything that we are changing our lives to do for a minute, man, we're just going to feel like we don't belong here.
Yeah, man, that's normal.
I don't
like
know enough. I'm not smart enough.
When I first moved from the shop up front to management, you know, I knew I could take care of people. I knew I could sell tires. I knew I could do all those things. But man, I was almost getting to the point where I was to that point where I'm about to be trying to walk in my dad's shoes. And I realized I didn't have to. What I can do is put on my own shoes today and learn how to walk in those. Learning that I'm not going to know everything.
Right.
Then I'm going to figure this out along the way. I'm going to make mistakes. Those mistakes can be corrected, and it's not the end of the world. I almost felt like an imposter coming back up from, you know, being that young punk that was always in trouble, that always just did dumb stuff, man, to being able to serve the community. That felt like at first almost like an imposter. And then I realized that spot, everything that happened in order to get there and the hard struggles, man, they're worth it. They're worth it. And then I do belong there. And telling yourself and knowing that you do belong wherever you're at right now, and that you're making the motions to change who you are, what you're becoming. Man, everybody's felt that. Everybody know, you know, we know what that feeling's like.
Sure.
You know, so.
I look back, it's so funny, it's kind of full circle. But, I mean, I didn't know you back then, but I remember when you were coming out John 3, whatever.
Yeah.
You'd went to rehab. I didn't know you then.
Yeah.
You know, but I remember just from going to the shop or going up there to do something, you know, the theory was Ivy Heron Jr. is coming back, you know.
Yeah.
The guys at the shop, you know, I'm not working here if
Yeah.
Ivy Heron Jr. is
Absolutely.
running this, you know.
Yeah.
Are some of the same guys that are there today.
Yeah.
And what they were saying wasn't bad. They were saying,
No,
I'm not working there if that's that Ivy
If
that
it's
was
that Ivy,
Yeah.
how could you not say that?
Yeah.
That's
And-
understandable.
And now, you know, to see them deal with you and they're just like, this is a different guy.
What's awesome is I got the same guys that are there. Most of them are all the same since I came back, have stayed there, and they don't even realize it. They think that, you know, when I first came back, they didn't realize how much they were investing in me. So now I get to invest back into them. And, man, we built because in this generation, it's almost unheard of to keep the same crew for more than 2 years. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's almost unheard of. Now I have personal relationships with all these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for that. You know?
Absolutely.
So,
You know, it makes you feel good when they didn't quit on you.
yeah, absolutely.
You know, they grabbed your hand.
So why would I quit on them?
Absolutely. They grabbed your hand. That was cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then now I watch.
Now there was questions to be asked. Hey, absolutely. Why wouldn't they be? And then after a certain amount of time, those questions seem to fade. Like, hey, for anybody that's getting in their recovery journey too, hey man, that first 6 months to a year to 2 years, man, people ain't gonna believe you. That's okay. You just got to keep walking and keep doing. You just got to start showing.
Yeah.
Quit talking and just do it.
Yeah.
So
I think understanding too that, you know, there's a difference between I'm healed and I'm healing.
yeah,
You know, I'm still healing.
Yeah.
There's some things about me that's completely healed. It's that box is shut. I'm good with that. But there's still some other things in me that are still healing as a, you know, because there's things that are still happening actively you know, in my life that I'm still working through.
I think as soon as we put a Band-Aid over something, there's another one that opens up. I mean,
Yeah.
and just learning how to realize that that's just life, but the most effective instead of a Band-Aid is probably a stitch. You know, I mean, just coming to realize that, hey, these things, it's just life. It's going to happen. So learning how to properly
So,
heal.
I mean, we're talking now, you know, just understanding about keeping people consistent in your life, valuing people. It's cool to have people that have been in your life.
Yeah.
That means you've survived some difficulties. You've survived misunderstandings. You've survived mishaps.
Hard conversation.
You've had hard conversations. You know, you haven't blew up on each other and you've just fought through it. Man, that is so healthy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want my last minute with somebody to be
a bad conversation, mad,
No.
yelling, screaming, cussing.
Yeah. I mean, that's me. Like when I made that decision to say, hey, I'm going to quit using those curse words in 2007, 17 years ago, you know, when the genesis
Now,
of
you've done better than me because I got about 2.5 days so far. But I'm working on it.
the genesis of that conversation and just so everybody knows, we're recording now, but by the time he makes that statement, it'll be about 2 weeks from now.
That's right.
So I hope in that time you're going to be able to say I'm at 2 weeks and 2.5 days.
Absolutely. Hold me accountable.
Yeah, and that's just, you know, that's you making a decision to say, you know, that's something in my
Hey,
life.
it's so funny, though. We talked about it the other day. You know, normally if those words come out of my mouth, it's normally not at anybody else. Normally it's just me. Ain't that crazy? It's like a crazy person talking to
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we think to ourselves, there's nothing that's healthy that's coming out of that.
Yeah. You know, and when you're around me, I mean, I've never heard you curse.
Yeah.
Never.
Boy, I almost slipped when we were cleaning the truck the other day.
I mean, I've never heard it. You know, I've never asked you to not curse.
Yeah.
But I've just never heard it. You know, and I think you understanding that. I mean, maybe you know I don't, so you don't. I don't know. I don't know if you consciously.
Respect. Yeah.
I never ask you not to, but I mean, I just don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, I remember a time when I worked at my old company, I would visit other offices, you know, and you come in, you know how people talk, whatever the case may be. We'd be in about the 5th or 6th meeting, you know, and randomly somebody would say, "You don't curse, do you?" I'm like, "No." They're like, I never heard one come out of your mouth, you know.
Well, it's just not productive. I mean, I know after I say it how dumb it sounds.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not hating on anybody that.
You know, if they want to cuss a blue streak, that's up to them. But the truth about it is it's not healthy for me in communication.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to be known for. I'm not going to spend my last minute on earth.
Yeah.
I want my yes to be yes and my no to be no. I don't want you to have to sift through it. I don't want you to have to determine my mood based off of what's coming out of my mouth.
That's right.
I want to sound efficient.
I notice now though, if something's said to me that's a little different, that I don't agree with, that I just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And I ponder over it the next day, because then I can come up with a better answer, a better something just better to say than normally what's coming out of my mouth.
I was in a meeting with somebody the other day, and they said, I just feel like I'm being called to just kind of be quiet and listen. Yeah. And I told them, I said, well, let me tell you something. If you feel like you're called to be quiet, there's going to be a million things that come at you to make you want to open your mouth. You know, because that's just the practice, that regimen. You got that resistance. So I guess what we're saying to the viewers, man, if you got 1 minute, if you got one conversation, if you're at 11:59 and you realize that theory with everybody in your life, why would you want to spend it cursing at somebody? Yeah. How is that healthy, and how is that ever going to be healthy?
I just want my name to mean so much more than not just a couple cuss words, but just so much more than who I was, bad conversations. Man, there's so much more.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break here shortly, but before we do, I want to say something real quick. We're going to talk about kind of what's out there in our world, like the mindset, the verbiage that's coming into people's brains. We're going to talk a little bit about
read that song.
We're going to talk a little bit about some lyrics and things like that. We'll talk a little bit about that. We want to say again, thank you to all of our sponsors and all the effort that you put into sponsoring the Big Circle. Yes. We want to say thank you to the person that hasn't sent us our table yet.
Yeah, because we know it's coming. We're thankful, Chad.
Chad. I hope you're hearing this in your earbuds right now, Chad. So anyway, we'll be back in just a second.
Sunroom. The house can get crowded, and if you need somewhere for family or friends to stay during the holidays, the Sunroom is a pet-friendly rental in Paragould with a top-rated Airbnb Superhost rating. Beautiful scenery, overlooking a nice pond, peaceful, relaxing, much better than a hotel.
Quality Voices is hiring now for daytime and nighttime shifts. They are a faith-based company that works on behalf of political endeavors and nonprofit organizations. You can fill out an application at 5510 Southwest Drive, Suite 4. They have great management, great family atmosphere, and a great environment. Quality Voices in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Okay. Welcome back to... Oh, I'm sorry. I took your shine. My bad. Welcome back to the Big Circle, a.k.a. the Big Rectangle.
Yes, we kind of told a fib on accident. We didn't realize where we were out on time. We were talking about this song lyric we were going to talk about.
Liars go.
That was not a lie. It was
a white lie.
No, it wasn't. And there's no such thing as that.
Pastor at Salvation Ministries in Jonesboro.
Lie's a lie. But anyway, so we're kind of out of time. We hope you've enjoyed this. We'll get into that lyric on part 3 of 11:59. But just to kind of recap, man, the last couple of episodes, we've really dug into some deep stuff in our own lives and some challenges, some things that we're hoping that you're enjoying this, man. We're just enjoying being real and human and just who we are.
Fellowship.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've enjoyed this. So we're still working on getting that extra mic so we can get a guest in.
Yeah.
We've got some guests lined up. Some of them know who they are. Some of them don't. Yeah. And where are we going to put them, Shell, when we get a guest? Back over here?
Chad.
In front of the TV?
Chad.
In front of the TV?
We need Chad.
Yeah.
We need the table.
Chad, when you bring the table, we'll put you on. We'll put you on.
And we'll let him pick where he wants to sit.
Yeah, there we go. We'll let him pick. But anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you. Don't forget.
Give us a 5-star rating. Share it if you got something good out of it. 4 stars, throw it in the garbage. Hey, but YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, give us a like, give us a share if you got something good out of it for the real and the authentic.
Closing out with love, peace, and hair grease.
Whatever. Bye.